What is it like working in IT for federal government? I think there's some myths associated with this, but for the most part, a lot of the information that people have come up with, have asked, or even information I've seen online when I'm just monitoring, scrolling through forums and seeing what information is out there, a lot of it is still pretty accurate. So, um, working in IT for federal government is a mixed bag. So some agencies have legacy technology, like COBOL or something, and they have on-premise servers. Um, they they can have poor documentation, old practices, waterfall methodology for projects, a lot of bureaucracy and checks and balances, um, and really just, I mean, you can spend a week doing something that in the private sector would take like maybe a few hours. But I will say this in that regard, while working IT and federal government, and some agencies, right, very secure agencies, for example, can move slower. I understand the checks and balances. I understand the need for constant review and you know considerations for all decisions related to IT. It it seems asinine. It seems unnecessary. But when you work in government and you look at the fact that we need to deliver critical services to people who have paid upfront through taxes and are expecting these services to not just be delivered but to be delivered well, we don't look at delivering things in a timely manner, but more just making sure that the quality of our work is A plus, making sure what we deliver is robust, and ensuring that you know, we are held accountable to the taxpayers and to the people. Um, People look at private companies who are just launching one thing after another. Yeah, but keep in mind, I mean, Google.com, Google or Apple, they might all have nice, polished, cute websites. But if, God forbid, I mean, the website or application is hacked and your information is leaked, they're just going to say oopsie and pay, a couple of dollar fine and then move on. With government, security is key. Moving slowly but surely is critical, is important, because at the end of the day, we don't have that luxury of, something being pushed out before it was ready. We don't do beta tests. We don't do early adopter. No. If we deliver something, it has to be the final product. It has to stand up to scrutiny. It has to be secure and obviously functional. But functionality falls behind security. They will make sure something is secure. It can be the ugliest, I don't know, website. Might be a website to apply for some tax credit or economic aid for a small business grant, program, something like that. Um, Government really focuses on security, and it can be painful if you're someone who's used to moving quickly. But then on the other side, there are actually plenty of agencies that I personally engaged with that were using modern JavaScript frameworks. They were hosting everything on like the GovCloud or governmental cloud providers. Um, they were using Scrum or other agile methodologies. They're moving quickly, and they were delivering quality work, and they found a way to kind of remove some of the bureaucracy from the process. And I never saw them making any mistakes or delivering anything that was maybe incomplete, half-baked, or not as secure as it could have been. So, for the most part, you have some parts of government that are still old, some parts that are actually quite modern. And there's a huge movement in DC to modernize these agencies. I mean, every agency is looking at Agile. Every agency is looking at DevOps or DevSecOps. Every agency is looking at, you know, bringing in new standards, new technologies, and trying to hire, recent college grads to get some young blood into the workforce. Um, the federal government actually has a program for recent college graduates as well as college students. So if you go on usajobs.gov, they have specific jobs that are only for current students in college or recent graduates, people who graduated within the last 2 years. There are jobs where only a recent graduate can apply, not a veteran, not a disabled person, not someone who was in the Peace Corps, a spouse of a military, nothing, right? No park ranger preference, nothing like that. There are jobs that are really just for recent college grads because they understand the value that recent college grads bring, And those positions are ladder positions, which means that you start off low, but you have a career ladder. And it'll usually be under the section that says promotion potential. You'll have a job that starts at GS5 and pays like 30K, but then the promotion potential will be like GS13, which means within like 5-6 years you'll be making 100 grand, guaranteed, as long as you're promoted every year. So, IT and government can be taxing if you end up at an agency that's kind of old school, but a lot of them are moving towards modernization, and then it can be really rewarding and fun, and honestly very close to the private sector if you get into an agency that's already modern. I definitely enjoyed, being a Scrum Master in government. I definitely enjoyed, leveraging agile methodologies and project management practices. It's fun to play around with modern technologies and use things that are intuitive and have a good user experience. And the schedule is really nice. I enjoy that, unlike manufacturing and healthcare where you're really 24/7 or you have to be there in case there's any issue with operations. I mean, hospitals run 24/7, and then in manufacturing, they try to make these plants run all the time as much as they can, right? Legally speaking, of course. So you're not going to have a 9-to-5 schedule, but working IT in federal government is really fun because it's 9 to 5. You get off all the federal holidays, and even if a holiday is on a weekend, you actually get the next day off, right, or the previous day off. So if there's a holiday on Saturday, they give you Friday off because that's the day that touches the holiday, right? The weekday that touches the holiday, and then likewise, if a holiday is on Sunday, then you get Monday off. So you get plenty of time off. You have good work-life balance, good, very strict hours. Some agencies will give you like a full hour paid lunch. You have unions, which is a definite plus. And the job security, the workplace, the pace of your work, it can vary. I don't think it's ever up there with the private sector because, again, at the end of the day, you'll never be as fast as the private sector, right? In the private sector, security it's a word that's tossed around, but I've never seen entities that were as cautious as healthcare and government. Government is extremely security conscious, and while they can try to be as agile as they'd like to be, they can move faster than they have been in the past, but they'll never be fast, right? When you're security conscious, it's just not possible unless our tools and automated solutions improve. I don't see governmental agencies pushing out deliverables as quickly as the tech giants, at least not in the near future. And nor should they be, right? It's obviously it's different focuses, right? Government focuses on delivering services, and private sector focuses on delivering products that then generate more revenue. So different focuses and different workflows that match those priorities. So that's just very quick overview of what it's like working in government, and definitely confirms what people think, which is work-life balance, kind of slow-paced, and legacy technologies. Unfortunately, what I say will only confirm those findings.